Okay, just as an introduction, my name is Gareth. I work for Delphi. We're a parts manufacturer. I work for the aftermarket side of the business, and we have a standing hall for if you're interested in coming to see me later on. I'd like to talk to you about telematics and how that can be applied in a fleet environment for fleet maintenance. We'll start off with what is telematics. It can mean a little bit different terms to different people, but ultimately an integrated telematics system will encompass a PC. So this is the telematics device that you see here. It plugs into the OBD socket on the vehicle, onboard diagnostic socket, and it remains on the vehicle. So inside this box, they effectively have a processor, computer. You have the diagnostic tool, elements of diagnostics, so diagnostic tools that will be used for the maintenance of vehicles, doing service and repair in independent aftermarket and also in OE dealerships. There will be an element of that inside the tool. It also has satellite navigation, so we can locate the vehicle, track its speed and its position. And there's also a SIM card in the device, so any of the information that is read from the canvas on the vehicle can then be transmitted to a location, whether that be the fleet management company, or whether that be the vehicle driver, or parts manufacturer or such like. So all vehicles will have OBD diagnostic sockets. So for passenger cars after 2001, you would have a standard socket that this would be present for. Just in terms of the system, how it works, you'll see at the bottom there the telematics device on the vehicle. So as I said, that's permanently connected to the vehicle. That is then using the global positioning satellite to locate the vehicle in real time and send that information back via the mobile phone network to the Delphi secure servers. So the server will contain information with regards to fault information, with regards to location, how the vehicle is being driven, where it's being driven, when it's being driven. If there is any outstanding maintenance on that vehicle, which we would cross-check from the mileage versus the scheduled maintenance for that vehicle. And from there, that information is either sent, as I mentioned, to the vehicle driver, so that could be a fleet manager, it could be an end-using car driver, and also to the fleet operator, and maybe to a distributor or an aftermarket parts manufacturer, depending on the scenario that it's being used in. The key thing is information. We're providing a device, a system, an infrastructure to help fleet operators manage their fleets more effectively, be able to detect faults before they happen, and preventative maintenance is a big part of what this system does. I won't go into Delphi specifics in terms of what our system operates, but we can talk after on that, so I wanted to talk more about the technology. In terms of what the system enables, as I mentioned, vehicle tracking is part of a telematics system, but only part of it. You could use a telematics system to locate part of a fleet or all of a fleet instantaneously, so the location of the vehicles could be added to a map and they could be tracked in real time. Obviously, a fleet is an asset to the fleet company, and as such, they want to make sure that that asset is managed correctly. And the vehicle maintenance schedules that are part of the telematics system allows them to track in real time if the scheduled maintenance is actually being carried out in accordance with OE standards, or it could potentially be a custom schedule that has been provided. And an important part of it is also diagnostics. Fault code information can be provided by this device and sent in real time to fleet operators. Certain devices will have enhanced functionality like predictive maintenance, so you can be looking at monitoring parameters over a period of time. Battery being a good example. You can monitor minimum cranking voltage, for example, on a battery over a period of time, track the trend, whether that voltage is falling off, and a fleet operator could then predict if a battery was going to fail even before it failed. So before somebody comes to a vehicle and tries to start it, an alert would have been sent to the fleet operator, maybe to the vehicle operator, to say this vehicle is in need of a battery change. And obviously there's a huge economic impact that the preventative maintenance can be done to reduce the downtime. Employee management's a big part as well. We find that if a device is fitted to a vehicle, then the mentality of the car driver can change instantly. If they know that their driving style is being monitored, if they know their position, the time and speed of where they're driving, then the behaviour is changed. And clearly with fleets, the fuel is a big part of the cost of running a fleet. We have the ability, or telematics systems will have the ability to monitor their idle times. So it could be that there's a policy that a fleet operator, a car driver or a truck driver should be keying off at every fleet delivery point. If they're not, we can detect if the vehicle's left idling for a period of time, and that's something that can be directly translated into fuel savings and obviously cost savings. It can also be used in terms of tracking fleet vehicle usage. If you're in company time or in personal time, it can be used as that sort of tracking as well. So these are a couple of examples of, sorry for a little bit blurred on the large screen, a couple of examples of where you would see the vehicle location in real time, and if there were faults associated to those vehicles, then you would have in the list below the map the faults that are associated. So they could either be live faults, or they could be faults that are likely to occur based on parameters that are being monitored by the system, which allow you to provide information for you, allow you to take action before a fault actually occurs. So you can see examples here of weak battery alerts or excessive drain on the batteries, which may be detected by a telematics device. It could be able to detect charging errors with the alternator, so that could be addressed before it actually becomes a problem with the system. As I mentioned, this is typically accessed through websites on PCs, but also telematics devices can clearly send that information to smartphone devices, so people can monitor that on apps and smartphones as well to keep live tracking in the vehicle. It also can be used to prioritise and schedule the maintenance of other fleets. So clearly, if a telematics device detects an issue with a vehicle and it's maybe a sensor for something related to engine management, that might be something that only certain people in the workshop are capable of doing. That could be scheduled in ahead of time, even before the vehicle comes in. The correct tooling, the correct procedures, the correct person with the correct training can be scheduled in to do that even before the vehicle is coming to the workshop. And clearly tracking can be made on the driver behaving there, so we have some hard braking and hard acceleration alerts there. That would all be configurable on the server for people to make a judgment as to what is considered a hard braking or a hard acceleration alert. And these alerts could be sent via SMS, they could be available on the web portal, they could be available via email to the fleet operator and the vehicle driver. Again, just some more examples of the dashboard in terms of how the data is presented. The key message really is a telematics system allows you to know what is going on with the vehicle before you're in a situation where you have to go to a breakdown of the vehicle and you have to do specific actions to get the vehicle back on the road. It is really a tool that can be used to manage the day-to-day operations of the fleet and ultimately reduce the downtime, reduce the maintenance costs, and make it a more efficient way of maintaining the fleet. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. So if there's any questions, we can take them at the end. Or of course, come and see me afterwards if you have any further questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Please, thank you once again, Gareth. Thank you. Now, to continue our discussion.